doing today? Hello, this is Mike Gilcreast on the Mike Gilcreast Show. Hope all is well. Hope you hear me well. Can y'all hear me? Making sure um, that I'm on. Hold tight. All right, there we go. Little technical difficulties, but excuse me, but I think we're back where we need to be at, and so all is well, ends well. All right, hallelujah. All right, so hope that your day's great. Mine certainly is. We had a great time at church today. That's always my number one priority is to make sure I'm at church and giving God praise because we're all spiritual beings, but some people believe different things. And so I just want you to know where I'm at, and hopefully we just line up. And so, but as for you, how's your day? I mean, we're doing some great shows. We're having great guests, artists, authors, and just personalities join us. So we're in the right place, I feel. So we're here, other than technical difficulties, and that happens, you know. But it is what it is. I was plugged up in the wrong outlet, and so now I couldn't hear anything. But now I can hear, and get this thing all figured out, so forth, so on. So that's that. So basic stuff is like turning things on. Um, but I hope everyone's doing great, to say the least. And I was supposed to give a shout out today, and before I forget, I want to make sure I give a shout out to a special lady. Glory to God. Actually, I watched her grow up, so she's my goddaughter, and so but so much not little anymore. So I want to give a shout out to Deja Mariah, and so great young lady. I mean, smart as a whip. And so just giving a shout out to Deja. So Deja, you can, tell everyone and say, oh, I got a shout out on the Mike Gilchrist show. And so author, podcaster, speaker, preacher, just a whole list of other titles that I have. But I just want to be value added and to know certain people throughout my life has affected my life. And Deja's one of the daughters I never had. And so a father of men now, and now grandsons. And so my son has sons, and I'm like, boy, and then we have one um, granddaughter. And but I'm like, you know, I thought I was gonna have a daughter, and God blessed me to have a whole list of godchildren, and majority of those are daughters. So I have a lot of goddaughters and, if you will, spiritual daughters. So uh um so I have my share of you know women on the women's side of having daughters. So God substitute, because I substitute, the daughters in my life, and because I didn't have, any myself, and I'm like, I wanted a daughter, and but now I have a host of, and Deja's being one of them. And so thank God for Deja last year of school, and she's moving on, just growing up, and I'm glad that I watched her grow up. See, it's amazing, isn't that? I watched her grow up from actually when she was a bump in her mom's stomach, to where she is today. So I watched her from then. I was at the hospital the night she was born, and so I'm really a you know uh, average godparent, if you will. I'm crazy busy. We live busy, and we live two different places. So, but we talk from time to time. It's nice to talk to young people, whereas young people they tend to forget people as they get older. But she didn't forget me, and I'm excited that we have our conversation. I see she's so mature now, and so Deja, shout out to you and have a blessed day, and say hello to Elliot for me. All right. All right. So yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it. We can get started. We been doing this, time and again. Um, and I'm still talking about, and probably I don't carry this long as I can, but every time I talk about it, it's a different facet. It's never the same thing. So relationship and divorce, and I picked these two topics because uh, put it together because that's life, and your life evolves around relationships. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, there's a relationship, even if it's not on a humanistic side, point of view. There's a relationship. What colors are you gonna put in your living room? You want colors to match, coordinate, and this, that, and the other. So it has relations, but everything, if you liking it, not liking it, everything has a relation or a relationship, that's important to know, and I want to talk about it because it's broad, it's wide open, and I can take it in many directions. Stay having 50 different topics. I'd rather just have a variation of topics along the same lines, and then we could go many places with it. And that's what I'm planning to do, as we get started. And give a shout out to Linda, uh, um, yeah, Linda's my wife's sister, and so she's on everything that I do. I appreciate her for the support she's given me over time since, and I can say over the past years, but she's been there, and she's always given a shout out. She's a great support to my wife and I. But I said Linda's like my biggest fan. My wife said, hold on. And so Linda's my second biggest fan. But I don't like to stereotype people and whatever. But glad that I have substance that people can, connect to. I can talk about things that people connecting to it. It's helping folks and leading people the way they supposed to go. And I did not know seriously that I had added value in relationships. And so there's many facets of it. And the thing is, like I don't understand God, and I'm sure most people would agree with me. I do not understand God. I'm going to put it out. I'm a pastor, and I don't understand God. All right, I've been pastoring for a year, preaching for a year, teaching for. I don't understand God, but God is God, and there's a scripture say, okay, it's okay. The scripture say, lean not to your own understanding, and so I think I'm in a good place, and nor do I want to understand God. But I can appreciate him because as magnanimous or magnificent that he is, you know, uh, uh, he continued to blow my mind, seriously. And that's it. But I want to, put that out there because I don't understand relationships. I don't understand people do the stuff they do. I don't get it. But re- relationships or family or marriages, they're you know instilled in the image of God, and so there's a correlation there that we can take time out to understand. And the thing is, even though I don't understand certain things, I love it. Seriously, I love it, and I want to love it even more because um, I think it's pretty fantastic. It's pretty fantastic to not understand, but yet become viable, become, holistic and realistic with it. And so that's important to be viable in what I'm doing. Um, you know, do I have the answers for everyone? No, but I'm going to do my best, and I have enough experience that you know. I think I can bring a lot to the table. Let me get my. All right, excuse me. That's my diffuser. It changes color, and so it sets the tone. But I have cinnamon flavor, so while it's going, the diffuser, I can smell that. So I'm like, something's missing. Something's missing, and so that helps to get me into my umph. I would burn incense, but I don't really burn incense. So I second best thing. It's diffuser. Smell good inside water. I'm able to go with that. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed smelling it going forward. And okay, so now I have got the right lighting, so the tone in here. And my son, he like, I call my lighting my sexy light, all right, because it's different than having the regular lights in it. But it kind of makes things blend in just right. Soft tone, because as I give words, I'm not trying to be boisterous and but I want to be effective. And so in saying that, let's talk about, relationships and divorce, and it's like part five, and I hope before I get started, I hope to be back here Wednesday. I have a tight schedule this week. It's breathe. I know I'm feeling that vacation. I keep talking about it, but I'm asked my wife to look for us something. Hopefully, we can find something just so I could take a quick break because I'm working terribly hard. And then every day this week, we're driving back and forth from Orlando to Melbourne, Florida, back to Orlando every day. I have a book sign down there. And when we're close to home, I don't tend to. We don't get a hotel. But I have other signs up in like uh, New Orleans, Georgia, a couple in Georgia, and the northern parts of Florida, whereas you got to drive. I mean, Florida's diverse, so kind of split up, so you can't, just get in some places overnight. Some places it takes like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, and so but we're fortunate enough to be home, and I did not know. I thought we were leaving. I was ready to pack and say, okay, let's go. But we're local, but now I have to drive back and forth because we don't stay when it's local. I want to be home as much as possible, so I'll try to get here. Wednesday is the next time, and Thursday is iffy, but Friday. So I try to do, Wednesday and Friday. I'm trying to be consistent, so we'll see. Sundays, if we have a second service, then I wouldn't do Sundays. But when I don't have second service, then I try to be here Sundays. All right, and so I think that's fair. And as I'm doing this, I'm busy, this, that, and other, and I give you little hints and tidbits, and maybe even a couple of little tidbits that's in my next book. I might throw a couple words out there, whatever to make it insightful. But I'm working on that thing too, and like I'm getting very little sleep, so I gotta take a break. It's going to help me, refresh. I hear my wife sneeze in the other room. Bless you. And so, but it is what it is. It's allergy season. We just was out playing in the yard yesterday, so getting little touches in there because we, have this HOA. Y'all understand that homeowners association? It makes you feel like you're renting your house, and that's probably a topic we could talk about as well. People that live in HOAs, you know, uh, they have all this control, but you're paying the mortgage. But anyway, another story, and so we're here and pressing forward. All right. With that being said, back again, relationships and divorce, and what makes it work? What makes it not work? Why is it so ineffective? You know what? And like I said, and how I started, I don't understand relationship. My wife loves me. I don't understand, but understand love. I understand how it works. I understand what I'm giving, what she's giving, what we're taking away from it. I got it. But what makes someone love you? What makes someone do the right thing for the right reason? And you got to learn this stuff, and you like, I've been doing it right for 15 years, and then something's off, and then you want to do it differently, or you want something different, you want something more, you want to feel more, and so I think if you have it, I'm speaking both sides, but if you got a good thing, you figure out how to keep it going, and that's the problem. I gave you the answer solution, but it's the problem because man, for many of us, we don't know how to keep it going. We don't know how to stir your relationship back up, stirring it up, stirring. I'm doing a circle on this. All right, we're stirring it up, and all the ingredients, everything you've been through, you put it in this big pot, and you figure out it doesn't work. It's not doing it. What used to make someone happy, it doesn't make them happy anymore. What used to make them, not care, now they care about it. Whereas, every little thing, I've seen this, and it just gets on nerves, and you're like, I can't handle this, and I don't want anymore. And why not? I tell people we have to somehow never. Somebody say never. Well, you can't say never because you. Your own lie, right? But uh, um, we never get back to that place, and we want to. One thing about it, and I tried this after my wife and I got married, because I believe in what I'm saying. I wholeheartedly, totally believe it. That we can, not let go of what it took for us to get to where we are. Like I'm talking about relationship, I'm talking about marriage, I'm talking about you got two people together. And the thing is, if you don't build it right, it's not gonna last right. But I tell them time and again, tell them again. And you gotta not let go of the beginning. You gotta somehow go back to it and remember, why am I doing this? Because those inflections we left off our relationship. We want the horse, the carriage, and the buggy. All right. And we want everything after that. But to keep anything going, if it's worthwhile having, you have to find a way to get involved, to recreate or remember, why am I really with this person? Because truth be told, you're going to get bored. You're going to get lazy. You're going to get uninterested. I mean, seriously, the opposite of interested is or not interested. All right, and so it's going to happen. And for me to tell you, oh, it's just all great all the time, I would not be telling the truth. But I personally make my relationship great. My wife personally make her relationship great. When you get a feeling, you get something that's working in your relationship, you figure out how to rekindle it. That's why we have all these issues in the relationship. Folks have dropped off and put their interest in other places. LeBron James, he was and this is, I'm digressing just a tad, but it's pertinent to what we're talking about. He was with Cleveland for a while, and he wasn't winning. And I heard him say, and everyone heard him say, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, which means he's going to Miami and play for the Miami Heat. And so Miami Heat was my favorite team. I was a big time Dwayne Wade fan. I was a big time when LeBron got there, and then they had Bosh. And so I'm a big time fan. And LeBron, he left, went back to Cleveland. I'm a fan. I mean, I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I'm a LeBron James fan. And so we look at it. And the thing is, he was taking his talents to Miami because it wasn't working. And I'm making a comparison. That's why in relationship, you know, I get excited with this stuff. All right, people want to leave the relationship and go other places because it's not working where it is. Could he have won a championship in Cleveland? Well, think about it. He left and then he went back to Cleveland. What happened? He won a championship. See what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not good to leave. Sometimes it's best to tough it out, and that's God's plan for us. But we think it's always greener on the other side. Well, he went to Miami and won a couple of championships, and then he went back to Cleveland. You know, then he went to the Lakers and won another championship. I'm saying he's a winner, and that's basketball. But if he could do it for basketball, you could do it for relationship. I'm just making a comparison, setting up an analogy. Say, look at different things, and sometimes we want everything right now. We want a relationship, and it's like going Christmas shopping, put it all in the box, all in the box. And when I woke, open up the boxes, all the ingredients right there. Well, every person have the ingredients for a right relationship. They have the mindset for it. Every person have it. We all got it. And the thing is, sometimes we don't know how to access it. You know, we don't know how to gain it, to get it out. You know, and so that's hard. And me, I speak wholeheartedly. That's why I can talk about this. I bring a lot of experience to here, because I was in that first relationship, and it did get bored for me, and it was uninterested for a variation of reasons, right? And the thing is, I didn't know how to. This is me, Mike Gilcreast. I'm not speaking to everybody else. You know, I didn't know how to rekindle, to get it back, to fix it, to this, to that. I lost interest. And then when you compound it with other issues going on, I was not equipped to handle it. And I think that's the case with most guys. I think that's the most case with most women. I just think that's the case with relationship. We get to a place, it becomes overwhelming, and we don't know how to handle it. So in that aspect, relationship has lost its value. You know, so it's lost the direction that's supposed to go. And so we caveat, y'all know caveat. You change the course of the purpose that it was intended. So we caveat it. We add this, go this direction, that direction. Let's try this. And then some people get so bored with their relationship. And I know these stories firsthand by people I know to have the conversation, whatever. But they say, you know what? I don't think I want to spice up my relationship. And I'm just going to touch it because we actually can get into it and becomes big. But some women think they're not enough. I'm not enough for him. He wants everybody. He wants this person and whatever. I'm going to give my husband, right, or my relationship partner a threesome. Menage a trois. And so I'm telling you, people spice up. Or the other spice up, let's have an open marriage. You can sleep with whoever, and I can sleep with whoever. I mean, we do all these crazy things. You hear a lot of that in Hollywood. I I don't want a woman where she's community property. You see what I'm saying? And I hope y'all hear me. I said I do not want a woman that's community property. I what value, intrinsic value, do I have if I'm with someone and everybody else didn't have her? Like that makes no sense to me. And so and I was out there. I got hiccups. I don't know why, but I was out there, and I was as such for the life I was living. I was community property, and so I didn't, uh, I want to play dumb. I knew the stuff I was doing, but I wasn't wise enough to get out of it. And so, but I was community property, and I'm not ashamed of it. The thing is, it was stupid. I did some stupid things, but I was able and fortunate enough to get my life back together. And the thing is, we get mad in relationships. Oh, you sleep with this person, you slept with that person, you did this and another. And think about it, even before you with them, if you wasn't a virgin, then you probably slept with somebody else too, and vice versa, vice versa. I think it goes on and on and on. And back in the day, back in the old days, a lot of times the husband slept around, and I'll tell you, I witnessed this with my dad, right? And the wife never divorced him. She still remained the wife. She still did, her position in her marriage, and I wasn't understanding that, and then for one, I was too young. And then as I got older, I'm like, I realized that, and I've had the conversation with the people that a lot of these people, even if they knew their man was cheating, you know, uh, they stayed with him. And then at the same time, and it's not saying much, but a lot of times during them time frames back in the day, even the woman was cheating. So go figure that. All right. And so, but the thing is, you should figure it. And cheating is not the answer. It only can convolute things. It's like, I'm bored here, I'm going somewhere else. And I personally have a problem with Because we look at how many times we, you know, jump outside where we are. We jump outside the relationship. We jump outside, you know, the stuff that we're doing, and it doesn't work. No matter how you look at it, no matter how many times you do it, it doesn't work. Because when you get to that next level, or that next person, or that next relationship, guess what happens? You know, guess what happens? Think about it. You're like, I'm leaving you. I'm done with this. Finito. I'm finished. Adios. Whatever, right? And when you get to the next place, see, we always careful to jump to the next one because it looks bad here. And I'm not saying stay where you are. I can't, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm just saying no matter where you go, you're going to have the same problems again over again. I'm leaving you, I'm going somewhere else. Well, they might be worse than the person you with. I'm leaving you, I'm going somewhere else. Well, they might be worse or and 10 times worse. You're in a relationship now, and then the guy's not beating you, but 3 relationships later, now you're getting beat up, getting black eyes and stuff. I talk like this, and I have like I told you, I have a ton of stuff to go over with this materials, and because I see this firsthand. Yeah, I'm not just talking like we're about to do a book signing next week, and I guarantee you, right? Time permits, I will have stories from that book signing because my book signs keep me pertinent. I'm telling you, because I'm in the front line. I don't have to do book signs to get people's information. People share with me anyway. They call me up, this, that, and that. I know so many scenarios of this, that, and that. I know of another couple out of state. Now I'm not going to give the state, but the dude just he got kids with the girl and cheated on her, and so I'm like, wow. And so we always want to get better. I want to get better. I want to get at you. We got to use wisdom. Because you feel a moment, you feel the tension, and some people like Kevin Samuels, some people don't. I like Kevin Samuels. He made sense to me. I don't have his personality. I'm not going to slam people or whatever because I disagree with that part. But the thing is, he spoke a lot of truths, and it made me sit back and realize, and not to say, can it get better? Can it not? I think options change once you move forward in life. You get married, your options change from being married to single. You get married and have kids, your options change from being just married or being single. And then if you're not married, you're single and you have kids, your options change again. That's why so I had to answer a question a while back. And I said so many variations to a relationship. It's not just one answer. Which answer do you want? You're single, you this, you that. There's a variation of answers, and there's a variation of things we're going to accept. And the thing is, people are going to cheat, but you have to get to know that person before they cheat or not. And I'll tell you, I get on the subject. I wasn't planning to talk about this. I was planning to talk about something else today. But the conversation's moving me this way, and it feels good to talk about it. And because I know people's lives and story is not you guys on the podcast. I talk to so many people. It's crazy. But I'm doing what I called to do. I mean, to give a reasonable explanation or mindset for relationship. And so that's what I'm doing, and I enjoy doing it, and so I like this one, it says high personality. That's my wife. And put that out there, but I'm trying to put this one up. There we go. Eh, Build a foundation around your relationship. Well, yes, but build it together. If you both have to be on the same page or get out of there. And I'm not saying break up, that's your choice. I'm not wasting my time to build a life with someone, and I'm giving you my opinion. And we're not going anywhere. Me and my wife, you see her here? You see her right here, all right? Everything we have, we built together. It's not like, I have degrees, but, it's not because I went and got degrees. She helped me get them. She studied with me. She quizzed me. She, read over my papers to make sure my grammar was correct. And so she went through the battlefield with me. And the thing is, you have to know what you're building. We built this 31 years later, and I'll tell you, even if I was single, I wouldn't dog her, because I know if I look back, I couldn't have got here without her. And we build we get in these relationships, and we don't want to participate the way we should. We just have an expectation. We have an expectation on I want, or I deserve. Going to bed with someone, sleep with somebody, having sex, right, does not qualify you to the, or shall I say, should not entitle you to get all of someone's substance. And that's one law I hope people change. I hope the government change and say, you know what? Now I know they're talking about. Whereas you're married for, you can be married for 2 years and the wife's like, I won't have. But what if her only intention was to get the money? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying are you due, alimony. I think maybe depends. For me, I mean, I need to be over that department because because I've been on both sides. I pay child support. I've been married. I've been divorced. I don't believe in alimony, that type stuff. I believe in child support. So we have a difference of opinion, but everyone's entitled to that. And the thing is, some people only go into marriage. You got to know the person. Like when I met my wife, we did everything together, and we traveled together. Even when we were dating, we were traveling and taking, vacations and understanding what each other want. I blew her mind. I'm telling you, I took her mind from here to Venus to Mars or wherever, right? And I knew that I wanted to invest in her based on the energy she was giving me. See, we get in these relationships, and as soon as you have sex, I'm telling you something about sex. You take a boy that have sex at 16, and he thinks he's a man, and he's not doing nothing. Don't understand how to survive life. Can't even go buy toilet paper, and this, that, and other. So, and he thinks he's a man. He has sex. What is sex? It's overrated. And the thing is, we put too much on it, too much emphasis on it. And the thing is, everybody has it. I mean, and there's a statistics. Every so many seconds, people are having sex. I want to say every 6 seconds, folks are having sex. So the value of sex is diminished completely. And so I like it when I meet a virgin. I like it when I meet people that saving themselves from marriage, and I give respect to them. You know, and I say this, and you look at my track record. I'm like, but somebody's actually going to stand up and say, you know what? Um, I'm still a virgin. And I talk to young women, black, white, old, young, but seriously, young women, like teenage, and I'm telling them, do not have sex. And y'all gonna hear me say this over and over and over again because we messed up the relationship by putting too much too fast. If you're cooking sushi and you add a pound of salt, you're gonna kill it. And so I think that's what sex does to relationship. All right, we kill it because we think, oh, I got the best. Ain't I don't believe, and I want to say ain't right, but ain't nobody got the best sex. Nobody, nobody. I'm good. The next person good. The next person good. The next person good. Some people are terrible. Da 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 da. Some people are great. It doesn't matter. That doesn't pay bills. It doesn't fit the emotional the struggles that you go through. It doesn't fit so many things in life, And I wish we put it in the right perspective. All right. And I like this. It says the grass is not always greener. And that's true. And it's not always greener on the other side. And I'll tell you, I experienced that. Seriously. I experienced that. I experienced that. And it's in my book. Y'all got to read it. I thought I was going to leave my wife for real. and we were married. My wife and I, this woman, we were married, and I was going to leave her for someone else, and we didn't have sex and wasn't that, but I thought the grass was greener until my eyes opened up. And I said, "Hold on," and I didn't leave because it always looked greener, it always looked better, but we don't always weigh um um the current relationship. Before we went to the Whole Foods, my wife and I, we went to the Whole Foods the other day. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday. And we got some salmon, and then we have them remove the skin. I think there's a term for it. Fillet the skin, fillet the fish or the salmon, so the skin comes off. So we don't bring home the skin. They, before she took the skin off, she put it on the scale and weighed it, and that's the price you pay. See what I'm saying? And the thing is, I knew what I was getting even after she filleted it and took the skin off. I knew what I was getting. When I married my wife, I knew what I was getting. We doing this relationship stuff and we don't know what we're getting. See what I'm saying? We have no idea what we're getting. And then we're like, cause people send their best representative to you, that person that you meet, you think, oh, I got the best person. He's the best guy. He's just great. He's just awesome. Until the heat is turned up. And then he's not the same or she's not the same. Now your expectations now unrealistic because you still have the expectation and you're not getting, the fulfillment of your mind, your brain, satisfied the way you want it to be. And so it looks greener. I'm telling you, y'all saying things I can identify. I talk about it, and I'm talking about it in front of my wife. I'm free. I don't feel bondage. It's not jealousy. I've never been in a marriage or a relationship as such with my wife, and I've been through a lot of relationships. And I've never had the freedom that I have today. Cause I knew before I got into this marriage, I was gonna be free. All right. Because I could do bad by myself, as I tell the ladies. I live this, you know, as I go forward, right? And so it's amazing. You got to know what you have. And she have to know her limitations. But in order for her not to do anything or react every time I say something, well, it's in my book for one. For two, I'm around ladies probably more than men most of my life. And I asked her, I say, why do you trust me? And that's fanatical to me. Why you trust me? And she say, because you don't give me a reason not to. She told me I don't give her a reason for her not to trust me. That was mind boggling. That was pretty awesome for me. And so I'm sharing you part of our marriage on this, right? And so we gotta know who we're getting with. All right, let's look at this one. It says, what about emotional cheating? All right. And so I see it. I see you. I see you. I what about emotional cheating? All right. You know what? How do I say it? All right, this like any time that you have a relationship, you have to know from a guy. I'll tell you, men, and I think men are going to love me for this, but it's true. There's depends on what question you're asking about the relationship. A man has a different answer for every part of it. If he's married, he has one answer. If he's single, he has another answer. If he's thinking about getting married, there's another answer. And they're all right because it depends on his mindset. And so emotional cheating, I think we can control that, I knew people, even some of these people, even when I was talking about, the relationship, why my wife trusts me, and I thought the grass was green on the other side. This was at the Pentagon, so I'm just talking about the Pentagon. So, all right, so I had these experiences. Yeah, I used to teach Bible study there. Plus, I counseled a lot of people. And wait till you hear some stories I have down the line, even about the Pentagon, right? But what about emotional cheating? Um, I dealt with a guy at the Pentagon, and and he was in church. He actually, I think he was in ministry as well. And when he see me, he said, "Hey, Bishop, how you doing?" And so I got my backpack. He'd take my backpack and carry it to my office for me because he wanted to show me respect. So I got it. I understand it. And the thing is, the gentleman, for me, I think he had some of that emotional cheating going because it went to a point that one day he said, "Bishop, I gotta talk to you." And I'm not going to tell you the guy. I'm just telling you the story. And you know, he had a problem with masturbation, and I'm shaking the guy's hand. I gotta laugh, because that part's funny. Help me. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm shaking the guy's hand. I'm like, um, I, now I gotta run to the bathroom and put my bag down in my office and run to wash my hands because I got issues. People, you don't know. No, you never, y'all don't laugh at me. You never know what people are doing, what they're going through, and this and that. But emotions. Well, I think he was in a relationship, but yet he was masturbating, which means that's probably way more than you ask. Like, Lord Bishop, I ain't want, but the thing is, I got this is what people do, and that's what they do, and you never, and so I'm so careful shaking people's hand, like, oh Lord, no, and I try to pound. Let's hug, let's hug. Yeah, and so I want to make this fun too. All right, uh, uh, we can't control emotions, and because if you and I'm careful on what subject I bring up to people, even if I'm in public, I'm talking to other leaders, other pastors, whatever, just business people, just anyone. Like at my signing, I never know who I meet because I meet with doctors, lawyers. I mean, just people of high proficient job skills and levels and training experience. Then I meet construction workers, people at Wendy's. I meet a whole array of people, and people are people to me. You can work at Starbucks, and I'm going to help you and talk to you, whatever. Right? Uh, uh, um, I don't look at people like there's intrinsic value that I have to have before I talk to you. You're a person, so I treat people accordingly. And so emotional cheating, we can't control it. And I said that 3 times already. You have to trust the person that you're with. My wife. You know, I'll tell you. Have I looked at a woman? I have. Have I looked at a woman to lust? And I'm sure I have, but I don't do that now. And so am I tempted by women? I am. And so some things you can control. And I'm a man. I'm telling you, I'm a pastor. I'm telling you, will I see a woman that would tempt me? Absolutely. And my wife is right here. I'm not disrespecting, but she may see a guy that she's tempted by, even though I'm dark and lovely, and the thing is, it's not that it can happen, it has to happen, whatever. We just have to know, you know, who we're serving. If we're on the devil's side, the Lord's side, and even the Bible says Jesus was tempted at every temptation, and doesn't mean that you have to sin. Temptation is not sin. And so if somebody's emotionally, I look at the girl on TV and I'm like, God, she's beautiful. She is gorgeous. And I love to see beautiful people. I love the modeling stuff. I mean, I'm just into that, and if I see a guy and he's handsome, he's a handsome guy, and so I'm that across the board, but I don't do guys a whole lot. It's every now and then. I'm not, my wife be like, hold on, why you complimenting all these guys? So she might be like, "Why are you copying all these guys?" And it's not there. Um, 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 so that's what that is. And so that's all I'm can say about that, you can't control it. I think you should pray, and then you might want to have a talk with that person. I think that's fair. But I'll tell you, I share everything. I told my wife this promise when I married. I say whether it's good or bad or indifferent, I always tell you the truth. So I say I would tell you the truth, even if it hurts me. If she say I can't take what I'm leaving, whatever, right? I'm going to tell her the truth. I can't be in a marriage with my wife. And I said this, and not just I expect honesty or commitment, Chip, but I have to give it. I expect honesty, commitment, relationship, but I must also give it. So I give what I expect from my wife. And so I want her to be honest to me. My wife and I, we talk about everything. And so if I had this thing, I said, and this is true story, and she probably don't want me to say this, but I've seen a person. I said, I said I saw this woman, and I had a moment. This is how honest I am. I said I had a moment, and the thing is, not that I wasn't even tempted. I wasn't even lusting. I just had a moment, and I wanted to be out of her presence, for real. I just had a moment. I can't explain this moment, but it was not lust and it was not temptation. So every time if a guy sees a girl, he's not he don't necessarily want to be with her. And I think if you care about emotional cheating, you sometimes we have to look at ourselves, all right? Because if I was insecure, I don't care who my wife looks at. I'm serious. If she sees somebody, I don't care, you know. Because the thing is, mm, how do I say this? She's not first committed to me, if that makes sense. I'm not first committed to her, and I might go be deep on y'all, all right? But the thing is, my allegiance is unto God. Her allegiance is unto God. And that's what really solidifies it for us. We get too involved in people and we lose ourselves. And I'll tell you, that's why people are jealous. That's why people are insecure. And that's why people have all these struggles. The thing is, my wife taught me what I'm saying a long time ago. And I think that's in my book, and it's in there a different way. But the thing is, I had a problem with her and we were dating because I'm used to women chasing me and coming after me and not wanting me to leave them. All right. And so I said, okay. And I disagree with her. And I walked out the door. I have to laugh on this because it's funny, And so I walked out the door, and you'll probably hear the story again because it was really impactful for me. When I walked out, and see, that's funny, But seriously, it was impactful for me. What happened? I walked out the door, and she did not chase after me. She did not come after me. She wasn't crying after me. I was used to that. Oh, please don't leave, don't leave. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm used to that. She, I went through so many tears, seriously. And the tears aren't funny because, I'm just laughing because I'm like, I can't believe it. But she didn't come after me, And so I walked down the hall and nothing happened. I'm like, what? You know who I am? I always say that. You know who I am? Like, I don't have this issue. And so I picked up my tail. No, I'm joking. That's figuratively speaking, and turned around and went back and knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I think we should talk about this." Like my pride was crushed, but she would have never knew that, right? And so she was showing me who she was. Like, "Psh, I ain't kissing up after you. I ain't whatever. You got to come in this." And the thing is, it wasn't disrespectful or anything like that. It just she was not running after me, nor was she obligated to, because even if we were courting, dating, we're still single. So she had an interest in me, but not to a point that chased me down. And I never respect women for chasing a guy. You guys, I tell my wife, she probably could tell you 100 times a month. Women do not understand the power that they have. I say that over and over and over again. I just proved to you what a true story of my wife and I. You guys have power. Y'all have power. Can I say it again? Women have power. And to chase after a guy or care about where a guy is at is you lost your power. And she don't care. I was in a parking lot. I got all these stories with another female talking about God. And when I came, I didn't have to justify myself. So now I'm telling a story, and she never said, "You were cheating on me, you were this, you were that, you were the woman." I never went through that. The honest to God truth, when I was first married to my wife, we was not in church. If she was the opposite of what I was saying, I would have divorced her. Seriously, I would divorce her because I didn't want a repeat of a previous life that I had. I didn't want to repeat. I didn't want to do it again. You know, she trusted me, and her trust in me made me the person I am today. She trusts me, and I'm amazed. I don't say that lightly. When I say my wife trusts me, because if the shoe was on the other foot, and she was, had the life I had, then I would not um I wouldn't have gave her the chance she gave me. All right. And so hopefully I answered questions. I gave you a lot of stuff anyway. It just you gotta know who you are, where you stand in the relationship. Women, y'all got it. You just don't know you have it. And if you did, we wouldn't have all these problems. And guys would not act the way they do. Seriously. After I do this book for women, I'm doing another book for men, just so you know. And both are spin-off of my current book. That way I have to tell you, I have to write it off my current book because that's the only knowledge, wisdom, uh, 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 what, wisdom that I have, and so I want to make sure I line it up with something I already put out so it makes sense. So this question, all right? In a relationship, you have to know when to hold him and know when to fold him. You got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him. That's Kenny Rogers, right? And that's cute. And so it's if you're, you got to know when to hold on to your man and when to let go. And thing is, a lot of people don't know when to let go. I'm not advocating divorce. I'm not advocating people breaking up. I'm saying because y'all don't need my help to tell you. Because women have to actually call me and say this was going on. This he did this and this and this and that, and I don't know whatever. Right? I'm telling you, I get these two saying. So what should I do? Huh? What should I do? Why you ask me what should you do in the relationship that you picked up and went forward with? What should I do? Why would I have that answer? And I say you got to figure it out for yourself. Because I learned firsthand when people get involved with your relationship, 9 chances out of 10, right? From what I've seen, she's going back to him. All right, she's going back to him. I don't care how many fights they have. I don't care how many arguments they have. I don't care if he even, whatever, right? She's going back to him. These dudes got strongholds on these women, and these women, are lost in it. And I don't get that, but it's true. It's happening. I've seen it, and I verified it. And, you know, uh, um, um, it is when we say when you let go, let go. And I'll tell you, I could not have wasted 30 years with my wife and not have this relationship. This relationship, oh my God, I talk about it. I mean, hey, like in the Bible, there's in Solomon, she say, I'm sick of love. I mean, you gotta know love to actually feel it. Why go through life being in extensive relationships and it's going nowhere and you're miserable? It's like being on a job, you're not happy. I don't want I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I want no parts of this. And so you have to figure it out. You know, know when to hold them, when to fold them. I love marriage. I'm telling you, the institution of marriage, I love it wholeheartedly. Cause number two, I need it. I need to be married. I'm glad. Not that if I'm not married, I won't last and be promiscuous and that's none of that. It just I love the companionship of sharing my life. And I don't want to do that. By myself. So, yeah, could I do it? I'm sure I could. You could do anything you put your mind to, but that's not the life I choose. And so I want to share my life, and I think she wants to share her life with so we've been through a lot together, and I'm like, sometimes she do things. I say, I think you understand me, because I think I'm one, I'm misunderstood, and number two, I'm easy to understand once you understand me, because I'm technical, I'm difficult, I'm demanding, I'm this, I'm that. But when you understand me, it's like, and the thing is, she's not turned off yet. So I'm like, she's still here, like, praise God. No, no, but we got a good thing. A lot of folks want to emulate our marriage, and so I joke with it, and I'm fortunate and blessed, and I don't believe, and I'm serious. God knows my right hand to God. I never imagined having a wife that I have today. I never imagined this. So see what other questions I have out here, but see something, right? So no way, no way. Oh my God, this has been let's hit this other question. So um know when the phone turns they show true colors. And I told someone, I think on a previous show, I'm pretty sure that you gotta test people. Like my wife tested me and I came back and said, you know what, we need to talk about this. Because I wasn't trying to let her go. She didn't chase me out. So she showed me, she set her boundary that she's not chasing me. So I had to act accordingly if I wanted to be with her, for real. And so I like boundaries, right? And what does that mean? I have not heard that one. And don't jump over the broom without any straw. It's a stick. It's a stick. If it's not a broom with straws, it's a stick. So don't jump over it. I think I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, you know. I think one of the corniest lines, that's out there is when a guy meets a woman and he tells the woman, "You're going to be my wife." I think that is the most corniest line out there. The thing is, it is so attachable, if you will. When you meet a woman, you say, "You're my wife." Don't fall for that. It, the thing about marriage is not to be put on display. If you put your marriage on display, you know, um, to me, you're shallow. You know, and people say, you know what? I like how your toes, curl up, and you're like, oh my God, this gonna be my husband. He pay attention to my toes. No, I'm exaggerating the fact. If people come up to you, and the thing is, if they say you're gonna be my wife, that's only a setup to get you to drop your guards and everything else to go with it. You know what I mean? Don't fall for it when people tell you you're gonna be someone's wife. That's it's stupid. You know, I used a line on my wife when I'm, and that's in my book. It says, I said, "You're a sight for sore eyes," but I was up partying the night before, And so it was a true statement. The thing is, when I give something, it's coming from the heart. I don't I don't want to just give a moment of happiness. You know, I want to give you a lifetime. And that's different. Everybody don't come to mindset. If you want the quick moment or whatever, and you want to keep being promiscuous and sleep around and da 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 da, then go for it. You got to pay the price either before or after. You pay the price and wait for Mr. Right, or you pay the price and let Mr. Would have been right abuse you and kick you to the side. And so that's something you got to do. All right. Last question. All right. Do you think you have to put more effort to marriage than just dating? Well, of course. You know, uh, Dating, you getting to know a person. I think the best thing you could do, and guys gonna hate me for this, but see how many times the guy gets upset and how he responds. Yeah, a lot of times when we're dating, we don't know the person until it's not what we want, and so I think it's more effort in marriage than it is dating, because when you're dating, it's easier to walk away from it because and if you read my book, I walked away from a relationship, and I wasn't tied to it, and I wasn't trying to. I didn't feel bad. My mind was seared or something, and I didn't feel bad, and so but being married to my wife, I've learned a lot. The one person that I had to apologize the most to is my wife, and I'm probably the one person that she had to apologize to the most as well. And so that's the person you're going to offend the most, for real. And she still loves me after all that. Come on now, and so when you look at that, that's how it's supposed to be. And marriage is not, um, it's not salvageable. It's not unsalvageable, right? Which means everything can be worked out. Sometimes I think, one of the biggest things why we do crazy things in relationship marriage is we're insecure. And being insecure, you do crazy things. And so when you sure yourself, like I'm sure of myself, if my wife walked down the street and said, I'm leaving, I'm not chasing after her. Trust that. You know, Nor do I want her to chase after me. But she taught me that. She brought that to the relationship. So we don't do that. We don't do that chasing after. Oh my God, I gotta have you. It's the end of the world. No, I'm trying to go to heaven. And hopefully me and my wife both go to heaven. You know, and that's our goal. But I'm not living this life to be with my wife. Trust that. Because then we might as well throw out religion. We're living our life to God, because I'm not gonna know who she is once we get to heaven. It's going to be non-gender, gender, non-gender, and so it's going to be, as the Bible says, familiar spirit, and so we live in this life on earth, but as we leave this earth, I don't plan my life around my wife. We put God as our top plateau of our life. God is there. He's the head of our life. And then it's me, and then it's her, and then it's the kids and your families, but God's at the helm of our, because it makes me a hypocrite if I choose my wife over God. No, if she wants to leave the church, I'm not leaving church. If she wants to give up on religion, I'm not giving up on religion. You know, and the thing is, look at Hosea. Hosea, his wife went back out cheating, had prostituting, and everything else, and God said, "Go get her." So there's I like to use the Bible, but I'm not trying to preach to nobody. I'm just showing you it's factual for me, because I'm just not there. Because I think when relationships are established, everybody's let's say community property. And so if you're not a virgin, you're community property. So no matter how many times. And we always want the best, but you got to realize we all have sinned and fell short. And we all have messed up. And the thing is, there's second chances and third chances and fifth chances. But I think of life like this, and to look at my forgiveness that my wife gave me, a second chance. You know, uh, there's hope for everybody. And I know I didn't deserve it. But God saw fact that I did, and so He allowed her to come in my life. Not every woman would took on the task of teaming up with a guy like. I'm worth teaming up with. But the thing is, I brought a lot of baggage to the table that she was willing to accept. And we figured out, worked on moving. You don't get to 31 years and we're playing house. This is our life. We're doing it. We're living it. And God is in the middle and guiding us and strengthening us to move forward. I cannot be as successful like I am without God. I can't have this relationship. I would not be faithful to my wife without God. Truth. All right. And I don't cheat because of my wife. I don't cheat because of my relationship with God. Big difference. Big difference. So hopefully I answered your question. I'm about to get out of here. Great questions, and we're gonna do this again. I'm trying to be back out here Wednesday. Uh, uh, um, and when we get back, we're working on additional guests to be on, but we have a book signing, like I said, coming up, and we're get that information out to everyone and go from there. But yeah, I'm excited to do all the stuff I'm doing. As we close, I always say faith connected to the power of words bring forth the reality of God. And I promised last time that I was going to have our church flyer, and I forgot. I forgot it. And so this time I had it. It was there, so that part was true. I just forgot to put it up. And so check it out, and then I'll do my one for my book, and then we almost out of here. All right. So y'all be blessed until next time. Keep us in prayer, and as we move forward, don't forget faith connected to the power words bring forth reality.